Zara skipped down the sidewalk, her backpack bouncing with each step. She'd gotten an A on her spelling test, and Mrs. Chen had given her a gold star sticker that now decorated her hand. School was out, the sun was warm, and life felt simple and good. At 8 years old, Zara saw the world with uncomplicated eyes. People were just people. Streets were just streets. The city was big and busy, but she knew her route home by heart. Past the corner store where Mr. Kim always waved. Past the park where she sometimes stopped to swing. Past the fancy buildings where people in expensive suits walked quickly, never looking up. She hummed a song from music class, something about sunshine and flowers. Her mother would be home in 2 hours. Until then, Zara would do her homework, maybe draw, maybe watch cartoons. Normal things. Safe things. She turned the corner onto Fifth Avenue and nearly collided with someone. A man. Tall. Wearing a dark suit that looked more expensive than anything she'd ever seen. He'd been stepping out of a black car that looked like it belonged in a movie. "Sorry," Zara said automatically, looking up. The man looked down. Their eyes met. And something shifted in the universe. Neither of them knew it yet. But that accidental collision would change everything. For both of them. For an entire empire built on power and fear. All because a little girl saw something in a stranger that no one else had seen in years. Humanity. Kang Min-ho was not accustomed to being bumped into. People sensed him coming, moved aside, averted their eyes, gave him the space his reputation demanded. He was 43 years old and had spent the last 20 building an empire that made politicians nervous and rivals careful. Control was his religion, distance his protection, emotion his enemy. He'd been heading into a building he owned, one of 17 across the city, for a meeting about territorial expansion. Routine business, calculated moves, nothing personal. Ever. His bodyguards flanked him at a respectful distance, close enough to protect, far enough to not crowd. People on the street noticed him immediately. A woman pulled her child closer. A businessman suddenly became very interested in his phone. A couple crossed to the other side. This was normal. This was how the world responded to Kang Min-ho. With fear, with respect, with distance. Then a child bumped into him. And instead of fear in her eyes when she looked up, there was just surprise, an immediate apology. No recognition, no trembling, no calculation. Just a kid who'd accidentally run into someone and was being polite about it. Min-ho opened his mouth to say something dismissive, to move past this interruption, to continue his day unchanged. But the girl spoke first, and her words stopped him cold, froze him in place, made him forget, for just a moment, who he was supposed to be, because her question was simple, innocent, and devastating. "Are you okay? You look sad." No one had asked him that in 20 years. Min-ho stared at the child, 8 years old maybe, black, big brown eyes, a backpack covered in butterfly stickers, a gold star on her hand. Completely unaware, she'd just spoken to one of the most dangerous men in the city. "I'm fine," he said. His voice came out rougher than intended. "You sure? My mom says people who look sad sometimes need someone to notice, so I'm noticing. You look sad even though you're dressed fancy." His bodyguards shifted nervously. No one spoke to Min-ho like this. No one questioned him. No one made observations about his emotional state. He should walk away. Should ignore this. Should get to his meeting. Instead, he found himself asking, "What makes you think I'm sad?" "Your eyes. They're tired, and you're not smiling, even a little bit. My teacher says real smiles reach your eyes. Yours doesn't go anywhere." Perceptive child. Dangerously perceptive. "I'm very busy," Min-ho said. Not an explanation, not an excuse, just fact. Busy people can still be happy. Mr. Kim at the corner store is super busy, but he always smiles, even when he's tired. "Who are you?" Min-ho asked. He never asked personal questions, never engaged. But this child had cracked something. "I'm Zara. I'm 8. I live 3 blocks that way. I got an A on my spelling test today. Who are you?" "Someone who should go." "That's not a name." "Okay then, someone. I hope you feel less sad later. Maybe eat something good. Food helps when I'm sad." She smiled at him, genuine, warm, uncomplicated, then walked around him and continued down the street, humming, leaving Min-ho standing on the sidewalk. Feeling something he hadn't felt in 2 decades. Noticed, seen, human. His phone buzzed. The meeting, his empire, his responsibilities. He looked back at the girl. She was already a block away. He should forget this. file it under strange encounter, and move on. But he knew he couldn't, because for the first time in 20 years, someone had looked at him and seen sadness instead of power. And that simple observation had cracked something inside him that he'd thought was sealed forever. The meeting was a disaster. Not business-wise. Minho handled the negotiations perfectly, territorial agreements reached, money allocated, problems solved with his usual efficiency. But mentally he was somewhere else, with a child who'd asked if he was okay, with eyes that had seen sadness instead of status, with a simple suggestion that food might help. "Sir, your thoughts on the shipment timeline?" His second-in-command, Park, was waiting for an answer. Minho realized he hadn't been listening. Approved. Move forward. After the meeting, Park approached him privately. "Are you all right? You seemed distracted." "I'm fine." "You're never distracted. What happened?" Minho considered lying, considered dismissing it. Instead, he said, "I met a child today. She asked if I was okay, said I looked sad." Park blinked. "A random child?" "Yes." "And that's bothering you?" "She saw something no one else sees, or admits to seeing." "With respect, sir, you've built your life on people not seeing your emotions, not knowing what you're thinking or feeling. That's your power." "Yes, so one observant child shouldn't matter." "You're right, it shouldn't." But it did. Minho returned to his penthouse that evening. Expensive, pristine, empty. He stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. This view cost more than most people made in a lifetime. This apartment held everything money could buy and felt like absolutely nothing. He made himself dinner. Gourmet ingredients from his stocked kitchen, cooked with precision, ate alone. It tasted like nothing. "Maybe eat something good? Food helps when I'm sad." The girl's words echoed. Minho set down his fork, looked around his perfect empty space, and acknowledged something he'd been avoiding for years. She was right. He was sad, had been for so long he'd forgotten what anything else felt like, had built walls so high he couldn't remember what it felt like to be seen, until an 8-year-old girl bumped into him, looked up, and saw right through everything. He walked to his study, opened his laptop, typed a message to his head of security. "I need you to find someone, discreetly. A child, 8 years old, named Zara, lives within 3 blocks of 5th and Main. I need to know who she is, who her family is, everything." Sent it, sat back, wondered what he was doing, wondered why he couldn't let this go, wondered if maybe, just maybe, this strange encounter meant something, something his carefully controlled life had been missing, something worth understanding. The silence in Minho's penthouse was deafening. He'd lived alone for 15 years, preferred it that way. Relationships meant vulnerability, family meant weakness, isolation meant control. He'd had lovers, brief, transactional, ended before they became complicated. He'd had allies, professional, useful, discarded when they weren't. He'd had no one who really knew him, by design, by choice, by necessity. But tonight, the silence felt different, heavy, oppressive. For the first time in years, Minho felt lonely, actually lonely, not just alone. "You look sad." The girl's words kept playing in his mind. Different people's voices, different contexts, but always those words. His mother, 25 years ago, sat before the cancer took her. "You look sad, Minho. Talk to me." He'd been 18, angry, watching his father build an empire on blood and fear, hating it, being groomed for it anyway. "I'm fine, Mom." "You're not, and pretending won't make it true." She died 3 months later. He'd never told her how sad he really was. His first love, 20 years ago, before he'd fully committed to his father's world. "You look sad lately. Is it the business?" "It's nothing. It's something. You're changing, becoming harder, colder. I'm losing you." "You're not losing me." But she was. A month later, she left, told him she couldn't love someone who was disappearing into darkness. He'd let her go, told himself it was for the best. Built higher walls, his father, 15 years ago, dying of a heart attack. "You look sad, son, but you'll be fine. You're stronger than me, stronger than anyone. You'll run this empire better than I ever did." "I don't want to run it." "You will anyway, because you're good at it, because you understand power, because you've already sacrificed everything else for it. Might as well embrace it." Minho had embraced it, built an empire that dwarfed his father's, became exactly what he'd never wanted to be, and now, a child, a stranger, seeing the same thing. "You look sad." Minho closed his eyes. When had he last cried? Years. Decades, maybe. He didn't cry now, but he felt something. A crack. small but real, a fissure in the armor he'd built so carefully, and he didn't know whether to seal it or let it grow. The report on Zara came back within 18 hours. Efficient, thorough, heartbreaking. Zara Williams, 8 years old, student at Washington Elementary, honor roll, perfect attendance. Lives with her mother, Simone Williams, in a modest apartment in the Adams district. Father, unknown, not listed on birth certificate. Mother works 2 jobs, day shift as a nurse's aide, night shifts 3 times a week as a cleaner, barely making rent, behind on utilities. Zara qualifies for free lunch at school. Mother refuses public assistance. Pride or fear, the report didn't specify. They have no family in the city. Moved here from Atlanta 3 years ago. Reason for move, unclear. Mother has no criminal record, no debts beyond normal bills, clean history. Zara, well-liked by teachers, kind to other students, often shares her lunch with kids who forget theirs, mature for her age, responsible, happy despite circumstances. The report included a photo, Zara smiling at a school event, that same warm, genuine smile she'd given him. Minho stared at the information. This child who'd seen his sadness was living with struggles he could solve with a phone call. A single transfer could handle their rent for years, could pay off every bill, could give them security, but that would be transaction, not connection, would be power, not humanity. The thing was, Zara hadn't asked him for anything, hadn't known who he was, hadn't been angling for help. She'd just noticed sadness and offered kindness, the way she apparently did with everyone. Minho stood, made a decision, not a business decision, a personal one. He called Park. I need you to do something, quietly. Sir? The Williams family, Zara and Simone, I want their rent paid anonymously. Utilities caught up, an education fund started for the girl. Anonymous how? Make it look like a charity program, a grant, something they won't question or refuse. And I want to meet the mother, arrange it, but not as me, not as who I am, just as someone interested in helping. Sir, that's unusual. I know. Do it anyway. May I ask why? Minho looked at Zara's photo again, at that smile, at the gold star on her hand in the image, at innocence he'd forgotten existed. Because someone noticed something in me I thought was invisible, and I want to understand why, and maybe I want to be someone worth noticing, for the right reasons. He hung up, stood at his window, watched the city, and felt something he hadn't felt in 20 years. Hope, small, fragile, terrifying, but real. A little girl had changed something, had cracked his armor with a simple question, and Minho was about to discover just how deep that crack went. For 3 days, Minho couldn't focus. Meetings happened, decisions were made, the empire ran smoothly, but his mind was elsewhere. With a child who'd asked if he was okay, with a mother working 2 jobs, with people struggling while he lived in luxury, built on their struggles. The contradiction had always existed. He just never cared before, never let himself care. Caring meant weakness, meant vulnerability, meant complications. But something had shifted. That crack in his armor was growing. He found himself thinking about Zara's words constantly. My mom says people who look sad sometimes need someone to notice. Her mother had taught her that. Taught her to notice pain in others, to offer kindness without expecting anything back. What kind of person teaches that, especially while struggling themselves? Minho wanted to know. Park called on the 4th day. The arrangements are made. Rent paid through a housing assistance program we created. They received a letter yesterday. The mother was suspicious at first, but we made it look legitimate. Education fund established. And I've arranged a meeting. But sir, there's something you should know. What? The mother, Simone Williams. She's been researching the program, asking questions. She's careful, protective, smart. This won't be easy. I don't need easy. I need authentic. When do you want to meet her? Today. That evening, Minho did something he hadn't done in years. He dressed down. Casual clothes, no designer labels, no obvious wealth, just normal. He met Simone Williams at a coffee shop in her neighborhood. She was early, sitting in a corner booth, watching the door. Their eyes met. Minho felt recognition, not of him specifically, but of wariness, of protective instinct, of someone who'd learned to be careful. He walked over. Miss Williams? I'm Minho. Thank you for meeting me. You're from the program? I represent the donors. I wanted to meet you personally, to ensure everything is acceptable. Why? Programs don't usually do personal visits. Smart, just like Park said. Because our donors believe in knowing the people they help, ensuring the assistance is appropriate, and checking to make sure we're deserving. No hostility, just directness. Making sure we're helping effectively. Simone studied him. You don't look like a charity worker. What do I look like? Someone who doesn't belong in this neighborhood. Someone who's pretending to be something they're not. Minho smiled despite himself. You're perceptive. I have to be. I have a daughter to protect. So tell me the truth. What's really happening here? Why the sudden help? Why the interest in my family? And Minho faced a choice. Lie. Maintain the cover. Keep distance. Or tell the truth. Risk vulnerability. Be human. He chose humanity, for the first time in 20 years. Your daughter, Minho said carefully, spoke to me a few days ago. On the street, she bumped into me and asked if I was okay. Simone's expression shifted. Protective. And she said something that affected me, made me think, made me want to help. Help how? By investigating us? By arranging mysterious assistance? By understanding how someone so young could see something everyone else misses? What did she see? Sadness. In me. Despite everything I present to the world, she saw that. Simone softened slightly. That's Zara. She notices things. Always has. Sometimes it worries me how much she sees. Why does it worry you? Because the world isn't always kind to people who care too much, who feel too deeply, who give too freely. She paused. Who are you really? Not the charity representative story, the truth. Minho could lie, should lie. Instead, someone who spent 20 years building walls, who's forgotten how to feel anything real, who met your daughter and realized how empty my life has become. That's honest. You asked for truth. What do you want from us? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe just to understand how you raised a child who can see through people so clearly, who offers kindness so freely. I didn't raise her to be naive, if that's what you think. No, she's not naive. She's pure, uncomplicated, real, things I haven't been in decades. Simone studied him. You're dangerous, aren't you? Not in the obvious way, but in the way men with money and power are always dangerous. Yes, and yet you're here. Why really? Because your daughter asked if I was okay, and no one has cared enough to ask that in 20 years. And I want to be someone who deserves that kind of concern, instead of someone who inspires fear. That's a big change. Yes. What if I don't want you around my daughter? What if I think this whole thing is inappropriate? Then I'll respect that. The assistance will continue anonymously, and I'll leave you alone. But I hope you won't ask that, because I think meeting Zara happened for a reason, and I'd like to understand what that reason is. Simone was quiet for a long time. I'll think about it, but understand this. My daughter is everything to me. I've built my entire life around keeping her safe, happy, innocent as long as possible. If you threaten that in any way, I don't care who you are. I will protect her. I would expect nothing less. Come back next week. Same time. I'll have an answer then. Minho nodded, left, drove back to his penthouse, felt something unfamiliar. Nervous anticipation. He'd negotiated billion-dollar deals without sweating, faced down rivals without flinching, built an empire on calculated risk. But waiting for a single mother to decide if he could be part of her daughter's life? Terrifying. And somehow the most important thing he'd done in years. The week dragged. Minho handled business, expanded territories, managed conflicts, made money. But his mind was elsewhere, with Zara's question, Simone's protectiveness, the possibility of something real. He found himself watching children, actually seeing them on the street, in parks, happy, innocent, full of life. He'd stopped noticing children years ago. They were background, irrelevant to his world. Now he saw them, saw what Zara represented: hope, purity, uncomplicated goodness, things his empire destroyed. His second-in-command noticed. Sir, you've been different lately. How so? Distracted. Almost softer. Is something wrong? Maybe something's right for the first time in years. I don't understand. Neither do I, but I'm trying to. The week passed. The meeting came. Same coffee shop, same booth. But this time, Simone wasn't alone. Zara sat beside her, drawing in a notebook. Minho's heart did something strange. Jumped. Nervous. Happy. Uncertain. Mr. Minho, Simone said. You remember my daughter? Zara, of course. Zara looked up. Smo, you're someone. From the street. You look less sad today. Minho couldn't help smiling. I am less sad today. See? Food helps. Or maybe you talked to someone. Talking helps too. You were right about both. Simone watched this exchange carefully. Zara, Mr. Minho is the one who helped us with our rent, with the program. Really, that was super nice. Thank you. Pure gratitude. No calculation, just appreciation. You're welcome, Minho said. Meant it completely. Simone spoke. I've decided to let you spend time with us. Supervised, limited, but I want you to understand why. Please, tell me. Because I researched you, found out who you really are, what you really do, and I should be terrified, should run, should protect my daughter from someone like you. But Zara has good instincts. She saw something in you, something worth noticing, and I trust her judgment more than I trust most adults. So I'm giving you a chance to be who she thinks you are, not who the world knows you to be. Minho felt emotion, real, raw, overwhelming. Thank you, I won't waste this. See that you don't, because the moment I think you're dangerous to her, this ends, permanently. Understood. They sat, talked. Zara chattered about school, showed him her drawings, asked him questions 8-year-olds ask, normal things, simple things. And for 2 hours, Minho forgot about empires and power and control, just existed, with a child who saw him and a mother brave enough to give him a chance. It was the best 2 hours he'd had in 20 years. The visits became weekly. Every Saturday afternoon, coffee shop, then the park, then sometimes the library. Minho and Zara talked about school, about her dreams, about everything. She wanted to be a teacher, to help kids learn things, and to notice when they're sad, like you were. I wasn't really sad, Minho lied. You were, but you're better now, I can tell. She was right, he was better. Being around her, it changed something, made him remember who he'd been before power consumed him. Simone watched carefully, always present, always protective, sometimes joining conversations, sometimes just observing. Why are you doing this? She asked one day while Zara was on the swings. Doing what? Spending time with us. You have money, power, access to anything. Why a struggling single mother and her daughter? Because with you, I'm not the person everyone fears. I'm just Minho, someone who can push a swing, buy ice cream, listen to an 8-year-old's dreams. That's rare. But it's not real. This isn't your life. Maybe it should be. You can't just decide to be different, not with the life you've built. Can't I? Simone looked at him. Do you know what you are? What you represent? Yes. And you think you can just walk away? Build something normal? I don't know, but I'm trying. For the first time in 20 years, I'm trying to be someone worth knowing, not just someone worth fearing. Why now? Why her? Because she asked if I was okay, because she offered kindness without knowing who I was, because she saw humanity in me when I'd forgotten I had any. That's a lot of weight for a child to carry. I'm not asking her to carry it. I'm asking her to let me be around it, to remind me it exists. And when your world comes calling, when being different isn't an option, then I'll handle it, but I won't bring it near her, near you, I promise. Promises from men like you are usually empty, I know, but this one isn't, because I have more to lose now than just power. I have something real, and I won't risk it. Zara ran back. Minho, come see what I can do. She'd learned to pump her legs on the swing, reaching higher. He watched her, smiled. That's amazing, and thought, this is what I've been missing. Not just happiness, but purpose. The kind that comes from being part of something pure, something good, something worth protecting more than any empire. He was about to discover just how hard protecting it would be. Park noticed the change immediately. Sir, you've been unavailable on Saturdays, consistently, for 6 weeks. Is there a problem? There are always problems. They just wait for Monday now instead of being handled immediately. And people are noticing, questioning, wondering if you're losing focus. Let them wonder. Sir, with respect, appearing weak. I'm not weak. I'm different. There's a distinction. Not in our world. In our world, different is weak. Weak is vulnerable. Vulnerable is dead. Minho turned from his window. Then maybe our world needs to change. Park stared. You can't be serious. Why not? I built this empire. Why can't I reshape it? Because there are rules, structures, expectations. You dismantle those and everything collapses. Or everything evolves, becomes something better. What's happening to you? I'm remembering what it feels like to be human, to care about something beyond profit and power. This is about that child, isn't it? Yes. Sir, that's dangerous. People will see her as leverage, use her to hurt you. Then I'll make it clear that touching her means death. Immediate, absolute, no negotiation. That just confirms she matters, makes her a bigger target. Then I'll be a more dangerous protector. Park shook his head. You're risking everything. For what? A child who isn't even yours? A woman you barely know? For the chance to be someone better, someone worth the kindness they've shown me. That's insane. Maybe, but it's the sanest I've felt in years. Park left, frustrated, worried. Minho understood the concern. Park was right. In their world, caring was weakness. Connection was vulnerability. Love was a liability. But Minho was tired of that world, tired of emotional emptiness, tired of power without purpose. For the first time in 20 years, he wanted something more. Wanted to be someone who deserved Zara's smile, Simone's trust, the chance to be human again, even if it cost him everything, especially if it cost him everything. Because what was an empire worth if it left you hollow? What was power if you had no one to share it with? What was the point of having everything if you felt nothing? These questions haunted him, changed him, made him start making different decisions. Small ones at first, bigger ones later. Decisions that would reshape his empire, change its direction, transform its purpose. All because an 8-year-old girl had asked if he was okay, and he'd decided to answer honestly, even if only to himself. 2 months into the Saturday visits, something shifted. Zara started calling him Uncle Minho, casually, naturally, like he'd always been part of her life. Uncle Minho, can you help me with my homework? Uncle Minho, did you know butterflies taste with their feet? Uncle Minho, why don't you have kids? You'd be a good dad. That last question stopped him cold. They were at the park. Simone had gone to get coffee. Zara was coloring. I never thought about being a dad, Minho said honestly. Why not? My life was complicated, busy, not good for children. But you're good with me, so you'd be good with your own kids. Maybe, but that ship has probably sailed. What ship? It's an expression. It means the opportunity has passed. Oh, that's sad. You should get a new ship then. Minho laughed. That's not how it works. Why not? Grown-ups always say things don't work ways, but then they never try different ways. Maybe your ship just went to a different dock and you have to go find it. You're very wise for 8. My mom says I'm an old soul. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. Simone returned, heard the tail end. What are we talking about? Ships and docks and Uncle Minho being a dad, Zara said cheerfully. Simone's expression shifted. Careful. Protected. Zara, why don't you go play on the swings for a bit? Okay, she ran off. Simone sat. She's getting attached. I know. Is that what you want? I don't know what I want. I just know I feel present, real, when I'm here, like I matter for the right reasons. You matter to her, more than you should for someone who's only been around a few months. Is that bad? It's dangerous. For her. What happens when this ends, when you go back to your real life? What if this is my real life? What if everything else was the pretend part? That's a beautiful thought, but it's not reality. You have an empire, responsibilities, enemies, a world that doesn't include people like us. What if I change that world? You can't just... Why not? I built it. Why can't I reshape it? Because some things can't be reshaped, only destroyed. And then what? You lose everything you built. For what? For something real, something good. For the chance to be someone Zara thinks I am instead of who I actually am. And who are you actually? A man who's built an empire on fear, who spent 20 years becoming someone I hate, who met a little girl who asked if I was okay and realized I haven't been okay for decades. Simone was quiet. Then, what do you want from us? Really? To be part of something pure, something uncomplicated, something that makes me remember why life matters. That's not fair, putting that weight on a child. I know, but I can't help it. She changed something in me, and I don't want to go back to who I was before. 3 months in, Minho's security team reported something. Sir, there's been unusual interest in your Saturday activities. Define unusual. People asking questions, watching, photographing. Someone's investigating your personal life. Who? We don't know yet. But sir, they've identified the Williams family. They know about Zara. Minho felt ice in his veins. Level of threat? Unknown, but anyone investigating you is a potential problem, especially if they've identified a potential vulnerability. Double their security. Invisible but complete. No one gets near them. Already done, but sir, you might want to consider. No, you don't know what I was going to say. You were going to suggest I distance myself, create separation, protect them by leaving. The answer is no. Sir, if they're being watched because of you, then I make it clear that touching them means war, total war. I will burn down anyone who threatens them. That just confirms they matter, makes them a bigger target. Then I'll be a more visible protector, and I'll make sure everyone knows the cost of threatening what's mine. They're not yours. They're civilians caught in your world. They're mine, Minho said quietly. Whether I have the right to claim them or not, they're mine, and I will protect them. He told Simone that evening, after Zara went to play. Someone's watching us, investigating our connection. She went pale. Who? I don't know yet, but I'm handling it. Handling it how? More violence? More fear? If necessary. I don't want that life for Zara. For us. Neither do I, but I won't let anyone hurt you. Then maybe you should leave. Disappear from our lives. Keep us safe by staying away. Is that what you want? Simone looked torn. I don't know what I want. I want Zara safe, happy, normal, but you're changing us, changing her. She talks about you constantly, draws pictures of you, asks when Uncle Minho is coming. You're becoming important, and that's dangerous. I'm already important. Leaving won't change that. It'll just remove my ability to protect you, or it'll remove the threat entirely. You don't believe that. No, but I want to. I want to believe walking away solves everything. It won't. These people, whoever they are, they know about you now. Whether I'm around or not, you're a potential vulnerability. At least with me here, you have protection. That's a terrible choice. Yes, but it's the real one. So tell me, do you want me to stay and protect you, or leave and hope they lose interest? Simone closed her eyes. I hate this. I hate that knowing you put us in danger. I hate that leaving might not even help. I hate all of it. I know. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Fix it. Make us safe. Safe. Not just protected. Safe. I will. I promise. I will. He meant it. Completely. Even though he had no idea how. Even though fixing it might cost him everything. Even though the empire he'd built was now the biggest threat to the people he cared about most. Minho Kang faced an impossible choice. Keep the power or keep the people. He couldn't have both. And for the first time in 20 years, the choice was obvious. The investigation revealed the truth 2 weeks later. Park delivered the news personally. It's the Choi family. They're the ones watching. Minho's blood went cold. The Choi family. His biggest rivals, ruthless, strategic, willing to cross any line. What do they know? Everything. The Williams family. Your visits. Zara. They're building a file. For what purpose? Leverage. If they can control what you care about, they can control you. They're wrong. Are they? Sir, they've identified your weakness. Would you make a deal to protect that child? Minho didn't hesitate. Yes. Then they're right. They can control you or destroy what you care about. Either way, they win. Unless I strike first. Against the Choi family, that's all-out war. Bloody, destructive, innocent people caught in crossfire. Then I make sure no innocent people are involved. I make it surgical, precise, complete. Sir, think about what you're saying. You're talking about starting a war over a child who isn't even yours, over a relationship that's only existed for 3 months. Yes. That's insane. That's love, or close enough to it that the distinction doesn't matter. Park stared. You love them? The woman and the child? I don't know what love is. I haven't felt it in decades, but I know I'd burn the world down to keep them safe. So call it whatever you want. The result is the same. This will cost you, maybe everything. I know. And you're doing it anyway? Without hesitation. Park was quiet. Then, you've changed. Since meeting her, you're different. Better or worse? I don't know. More human, maybe, which in our world is usually worse. But you seem alive. For the first time since I've known you. I am alive, finally, after 20 years of just existing. Then I'll help you. Prepare for war with the Chois. Protect the Williams family. Do whatever you need, because if you're finally alive, that's worth protecting. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is going to get ugly, and you're going to have to make choices no one should have to make. I know. Are you ready for that? No, but I'll do it anyway. That night, Minho met with Simone, told her everything. The threat, the choices, the reality. I can end this. Neutralize the Choi. Remove the threat. But it'll be violent. Permanent. Everything you hate about my world. Or, or I walk away, disappear from your lives, hope they lose interest, leave you vulnerable but not visibly connected to me. Those are terrible options. Yes. Is there a third choice? Not one that keeps you completely safe. Simone looked at Zara, sleeping on the couch, peaceful, innocent. Do what you have to do, protect her. But Minho, after this, after you handle the threat, I need you to choose. Choose what? Your world or ours? You can't have both. Can't be the feared mafia boss and Uncle Minho. One of those people has to die. And you need to decide which one. I already know which one. Then prove it. Fix this. Keep us safe. And then become someone new. Someone who deserves to be in her life. I will. I promise. He meant it. And he was about to discover just how much that promise would cost. The war with the Choi family lasted 3 weeks. Brutal, strategic, precise. Minho didn't just defeat them. He dismantled them. Systematically, completely. Using every resource, every connection, every ruthless tactic he'd learned over 20 years. But he did it quietly. No civilian casualties, no public violence, just the invisible destruction of a rival empire. When it was over, the Choi family had nothing. No power, no territory, no threat, just survival. Barely. Park was impressed. I've never seen you move that efficiently, that completely. I had motivation. The girl? Yes. And now? Now I keep my promise. I become someone new. How? Watch. Minho called a meeting. Every major player in his organization, everyone who mattered. They gathered in his conference room, expecting expansion, new territory, more power. Instead, he said, I'm stepping back, restructuring everything, going legitimate. Silence, shock, disbelief. Finally, someone spoke. Sir, you can't be serious. Completely serious. Everything illegal ends. Now, we transition to legal businesses, investments, real estate, technology, legitimate empire. That will cost billions, years of work. I don't care. It's happening. Why? We're at peak power, peak profit. Why change now? Because I met someone who made me remember what it's like to be human, and I refuse to be the person I've been. Not anymore. This is suicide. Others will see weakness, move against us. Let them try. I'll protect what's mine. But I won't be a criminal anymore. Won't build on blood. Won't be someone a child should fear. A child? You're destroying an empire over a child? I'm transforming an empire because of a child. There's a difference, and if you can't accept that, leave now. No hard feelings, just go. No one left. They adapted, transformed, followed Minho into legitimacy, because he'd proven himself, earned loyalty, built something worth preserving. The transition took months, painful, expensive, complicated, but Minho was relentless. Every operation scrutinized, every business restructured, every connection redirected. He built something new, something clean, something he could be proud of. And through it all, he kept his Saturday visits, kept being Uncle Minho, kept building something real with Zara and Simone. Until one Saturday, Simone said, You did it. Actually did it. I didn't think it was possible. Neither did I, but I had the right motivation. Zara? You both. She made me see I was empty. You made me believe I could be full again. What now? Now I ask if there's room in your life for someone who's trying to be better, who's changing everything to deserve being part of something good. Are you asking what I think you're asking? I'm asking if I can keep being Uncle Minho, or maybe become something more, if you'll let me. Simone looked at him. You're serious. Completely. You want to be with us? Officially? Permanently? Yes. Why? Because every Saturday, I remember what it feels like to be alive, and I don't want to lose that. Ever. Simone smiled. Then stay. Build a life with us. Be someone Zara thinks you are. Be someone I'm starting to believe in. I will. I promise. And he was. 6 months after the transformation began, Minho sat in Simone's modest apartment, helping Zara with homework. Normal. Domestic. Perfect. Uncle Minho, can you come to my school thing next week? What school thing? Career day. Where people come and talk about jobs. You want me to talk about my job? Yeah, you do business stuff. That's cool. Simone interjected carefully. Zara, Minho is very busy. I'll be there, Minho said. Really? Zara beamed. Really? What time? 10 a.m. Can you really come? I'll be there. After Zara went to bed, Simone said, You don't have to do this. I want to. It's a room full of 8-year-olds, asking questions, being loud, not exactly your world. It's exactly my world now, the world I'm choosing. What will you tell them about what you do? The truth. I run businesses, invest in companies, help people build things. That's what I do now. Legitimately. Really. And if someone asks about before, I'll tell them I made mistakes, chose wrong paths, but changed, because sometimes people can change if they want it badly enough. You really have changed, haven't you? Yes, because of you, both of you. You made me want to be better. That's a lot to put on us. I'm not putting it on you. I'm thanking you for seeing something in me worth saving, for giving me the chance to be someone new. Career day came. Minho showed up in a normal suit, not the intimidating kind, the dad coming to school kind. He talked about business, investments, building things, making ethical choices. The kids were fascinated, asked questions. Do you make a lot of money? I do well, yes. Are you rich? I'm comfortable. Do you have kids? No, but I have Zara. She's very special to me. Is she your daughter? She's my friend, a very important friend. Do you want to be her dad? The question stopped the room. Kids didn't have filters. Simone was in the back, watching. Minho looked at Zara. She was smiling, hopeful. He looked at Simone. She was nervous, curious. He answered honestly, I would be honored to be anyone's dad, especially Zara's, but that's a big decision, one that requires a lot of thought and conversation. What I can tell you is that I care about her very much, and I'm trying to be someone who deserves to be in her life. That's a good answer, Zara said. The presentation ended. Kids dispersed. Simone approached. That was unexpected. The question? Your answer. I meant it, every word. I know. That's what scares me. Scares you how? Because Zara's getting attached, really attached. She draws pictures of us as a family, talks about you like you're already her dad. And if this doesn't work out, if you decide this life isn't what you want, she'll be devastated. I won't let that happen. You can't promise that people change, feelings change, situations change. Mine won't. I've spent a year transforming everything. My business, my life, my priorities, all for this. For you, for her. For the chance to be part of something real. I'm not changing my mind. How can you be so sure? Because I've lived both lives, the powerful, empty one and this one, and there's no comparison. This is better. You're better. This feeling is better. I'm not going back. Ever. Simone wanted to believe him. He could see it. What are you asking for, Minho? Permission. To be part of your family. Officially. Permanently. To be not just Uncle Minho, but more. More how? However you'll let me. Boyfriend, partner, eventually, maybe. More than that. I don't know the steps. Haven't done this before. But I know I want this. Want you. Want to be someone Zara can count on. Someone you can trust. Someone real. That's a big ask. I know. And if you need time, I don't need time. I need honesty. From myself as much as from you. What does that mean? It means I'm falling in love with you. Have been for months. And that terrifies me. Because loving you means risking Zara's heart too. Means trusting that you'll stay. That this is real. That you won't wake up one day and realize you miss your old life. I won't. Promise me. Not the business promises you're good at. Real promise. Heart promise. I promise, with everything I am, you and Zara are my life now. My purpose. My reason for becoming better. I'm not going anywhere. Simone kissed him. First time. Soft. Real. Perfect. Then stay. Build this life with us. Be Zara's. Be our family. I will. Always. And he meant it. Completely. The truth came out gradually. Carefully. Gently. Simone told Zara first. You know how Uncle Minho has been spending time with us? Yeah, he's the best. How would you feel if he was around even more? Like every day? Maybe, if you're okay with it. Are you dating him? Direct. No filter. 8-year-old honesty. Yes, I am. Is that okay? Zara thought about it seriously. Does he make you happy? Very happy. Does he make you laugh? Yes. Does he treat you nice? Very nice. Then it's okay. He's good. I like him. He should be around more. What if eventually he became more than just Uncle Minho? Like what? Like family. Really family. Zara's eyes widened. You mean like a dad? Maybe. Someday. If everyone wants that, would you be okay with that? Yes. I've always wanted a dad, and he's perfect. He's nice and smart, and he listens, and he helped us, and he makes you smile. Can he be my dad now? Simone laughed through tears. It's not quite that simple. These things take time, but maybe. Someday. How much time? I don't know, sweetie, but we'll see, okay? Okay, but I hope it's soon, because I already love him like a dad. You do? Yeah, is that weird? No, baby, that's beautiful. Meanwhile, Minho was having his own revelation. He'd gone to visit his father's grave, something he did rarely. I became you, he told the headstone. Everything you wanted. powerful, feared, successful, and I was miserable. Every day, wind rustled nearby trees. Then I met a little girl. She asked if I was okay, and that simple question destroyed and rebuilt me, made me realize power without purpose is just emptiness. He sat on the grass. I'm walking away from what you built, transforming it into something better, something clean, and I'm choosing a family. A real one, built on love instead of fear. You'd hate it, think I was weak, but I don't care anymore, because I'm finally happy, finally alive, finally someone I can be proud of. He stood. I wish you could have felt this, wish you'd chosen differently. Maybe if you had, you'd have died surrounded by people who loved you instead of feared you. Maybe that's the lesson. Power isn't the point. Connection is, love is, being someone worth loving is. He left, felt lighter, freer, ready to build something new. That evening, he had dinner with Simone and Zara. Normal, domestic, perfect. Zara told me you two talked, Minho said. We did. And she's on board, very on board. Apparently you're already dad material. Minho felt emotion, raw, overwhelming. Really? Really? She loves you, Minho. Fully, completely, kid logic love, no reservations. I love her too, both of you, so much it scares me. Good. Fear means it matters, means you'll protect it. With everything I have. Then let's do this. Build a life, a family, a future, together. Are you sure? No, but I'm hopeful, and that's enough to start. They held hands, watched Zara play, and felt for the first time in their separate struggles like they'd found home. All because an 8-year-old girl had asked a stranger if he was okay, and he'd decided to actually be honest about his sadness, his emptiness, his need to change. Sometimes the smallest moments create the biggest transformations. Sometimes one question changes everything. Sometimes a child's innocence saves a man's soul. This was one of those times. The internal conflict came 3 months into the official relationship, not from outside threats, from Minho himself. He was in his office, running legitimate businesses, making ethical decisions, building something good. But part of him missed it, the power, the fear, the control, the rush of being untouchable. You look troubled, Park observed. I am. Regretting the changes? No. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Talk to me. I don't miss the violence, don't miss the moral compromises, don't miss the emptiness, but I miss the certainty, the absolute authority, the knowing that my word was law. Power is addictive. It is, and I'm withdrawing, and it's harder than I thought. But you have something better now, the family, the love, the purpose. I do, and I wouldn't trade it, but that doesn't mean I don't feel the pull, the temptation to go back, to be that person again. What stops you? Zara. She looks at me like I'm a hero, like I'm someone worth admiring. If I went back, I'd lose that, and losing that would destroy me. So she's your anchor. Yes, her and Simone. They're why I stay, why I keep choosing better, even when it's hard. That's healthy, using love as motivation. Is it, or am I just trading one dependency for another? Instead of being addicted to power, I'm addicted to their approval. Does it matter if the result is being a better person? I don't know. Maybe. I just want to make sure I'm changing for the right reasons, not just replacing one need with another. That evening, he talked to Simone about it. I'm struggling. With what? Being this person, the good guy, the family man, the legitimate businessman. Part of me misses who I was, the power, the control. Do you want to go back? No, but I want you to know it's not easy, that I fight the temptation, that some days are harder than others. Thank you for being honest. I promised no more secrets. I know, and I appreciate it. But Minho, I need you to understand something. I didn't fall in love with perfect. I fell in love with trying, with someone willing to fight to be better. If you struggle with old habits, that's human. What matters is that you keep choosing us, keep choosing better. What if one day I can't? What if the pull is too strong? Then we'll deal with it, together. But I don't think that'll happen. You know why? Why? Because you've seen both worlds, and you know which one makes you happy. Really happy. Not powerful. Not feared. Happy. And you're not stupid enough to trade happiness for power again. How can you be so sure? Because I see you with Zara, the way you light up when she runs to hug you, the way you laugh at her terrible jokes, the way you're patient with her homework struggles. That's not fake. That's not performance. That's real joy. And you're not giving that up for anything. She was right. Minho knew she was right. I love you, he said. I love you too, struggles and all. That's what real love is. Not loving perfect, loving human, loving someone who's trying. I'll keep trying, every day, forever. That's all I ask. The struggle didn't disappear, but it became manageable. Because every time Minho felt the pull of old habits, he'd think of Zara's smile, Simone's trust, the life they were building, and the choice became clear. Power or love, empire or family, fear or joy. The choice was always love, always family, always joy, because he'd lived the alternative and never wanted to go back. The final decision came a year after the transformation began. Minho called a meeting, his entire organization, everyone who'd followed him into legitimacy. "I'm stepping down as head of operations," he announced. Shock, disbelief, concern. "Sir, why?" "Because I want to build something new, something smaller, something focused on what matters, which is family, community, using resources to help people instead of just accumulating more resources." "You're talking about charity?" "I'm talking about purpose, real purpose. I've spent 20 years building wealth. Now I want to build meaning." By doing what? By creating opportunities for people like the family who changed me, single parents, struggling kids, people who need help but won't ask. I want to build something that notices them, helps them, changes their lives the way mine was changed. That's noble. But sir, what about the business? Park will run it. He's more than capable, and I'll consult, but my focus is shifting, permanently. Is this about the woman, the child? Yes, but not in the way you think. It's not about impressing them. It's about becoming who they made me realize I could be. Someone who uses power to lift instead of control, to help instead of dominate, to build instead of just accumulate. That's a complete transformation. I know, but I'm committed. This is who I am now, who I want to be, who I should have been all along. The meeting ended. Park approached. "You're really doing this?" "Yes." "Completely walking away from active leadership?" "Yes." "To do what?" "Charity work. To do meaningful work. There's a difference. I hope you know what you're doing." "I don't, but I know what I'm not doing. I'm not wasting another day being someone Zara would be ashamed of, someone Simone couldn't trust, someone I hate when I look in the mirror." "When did you become so philosophical?" "When an 8-year-old asked if I was okay, and I realized I hadn't been okay for 20 years, and decided to actually do something about it instead of just accumulating more power to fill the void." "Well, good luck. I'll run things, keep them legitimate, make you proud." "I'm already proud. You followed me through an impossible transition. That takes courage. You made it worth following. That takes leadership." They shook hands, ended an era, began a new one. That evening, Minho proposed. Not at a fancy restaurant, not with a dramatic production, just at home, in Simone's modest apartment, after dinner, after Zara went to bed. "I want to ask you something." "Okay, I want to marry you, not because I need to, not because it makes sense practically, but because I love you, because you changed my life, because I want to be your husband and Zara's father and build something real and permanent and good. Will you marry me?" Simone cried, "Yes, absolutely yes." "Really? Really? I love you. I trust you. I believe in who you're becoming. Yes." They kissed, held each other, made plans, told Zara the next morning. "We're getting married." "Really? Does that mean Minho becomes my dad?" "If you want him to." "I do. Can I call you dad now?" Minho felt tears. "I would be honored." "Yay, I'm getting a dad, the best dad." And just like that, a family was formed, built not on biology, but on choice, on love, on transformation, all because a little girl had asked a stranger if he was okay. And he decided, for the first time in 20 years, to actually answer honestly, to actually change, to actually become someone worth the question, someone worth the love, someone worth the life they were building together. 2 years after that first encounter, Minho stood in a community center he'd built, named after Zara, a place for struggling families, for single parents, for kids who needed support. The opening day was packed. Simone stood beside him. Zara, now 10, was cutting the ribbon. "This place is so cool," she said. "It's for people like us," Simone explained, "like we used to be, before Minho helped. So other families won't struggle like we did?" "Exactly. That's the best thing ever, Dad." Dad. The word still made Minho emotional. They'd been officially family for a year now, married, legally binding, but the real binding had happened long before papers. Speech, someone called. Minho stepped forward. 2 years ago, I was a different person. Powerful, wealthy, completely empty. I'd built an empire on fear and control, and I was miserable every day. Then I met a little girl. She asked if I was okay, and that simple question destroyed and rebuilt me. Made me realize power without purpose is worthless, that wealth without meaning is just numbers, that success without connection is just loneliness with better furniture. People laughed, so I changed. Not easily, not quickly, but completely. I left behind everything I'd built, started over, focused on what matters: family, community, using resources to help instead of control. And this center represents that transformation. It's for every family struggling to make it, every parent working multiple jobs, every kid who deserves better. We notice you, we see you, we're here to help. Applause, genuine, warm. After the ceremony, Zara approached him. Dad, can I ask you something? Always. Are you happy? Like really happy? Not pretend happy? I'm happy. Why? Because you look different from that first day. When I asked if you were okay, you look lighter, like you're not carrying so much heavy stuff. You're right, I'm not, because I let go of things that didn't matter and held on to what does. You, your mom, this work, this purpose. Good, I'm glad, because you're the best dad ever, even if you weren't always a dad. You're the best daughter ever, even if you weren't always mine. I was always yours. You just didn't know it yet. Maybe you're right. I'm always right. I'm 10 now. I know everything. Minho laughed, hugged her, looked at Simone, at the center, at the people they'd help, at the life they'd built, all because one little girl had asked one simple question. Are you okay? And instead of lying, deflecting, or ignoring, he'd engaged, changed, transformed, become someone new. The day a black little girl changed a mafia empire wasn't dramatic, wasn't violent, wasn't cinematic. It was quiet, simple, human, just a question, an answer, and a choice to be better. That's how empires really change, not through force, through connection, through seeing someone's humanity, through asking if they're okay, and actually caring about the answer. Zara had done that, had seen past power to pain, past fear to sadness, past empire to emptiness, and in seeing it, had given Minho permission to see it too, to acknowledge it, to change it. Now, 2 years later, the empire was transformed. Not destroyed, transformed, built on purpose instead of power, on meaning instead of money, on helping instead of controlling. And the man who'd built it also transformed, from feared to loved, from empty to full, from alone to family, all because one day a little girl asked if he was okay, and he decided finally to actually be okay, for real, forever. The end was really just a beginning, the beginning of something good, something pure, something worth every sacrifice it took to get there, a family, a purpose, a life, built on the foundation of one simple question and the courage to answer honestly. That's the day a black little girl changed a mafia empire and saved a man's soul, and proved that sometimes the smallest voices carry the biggest power, the power to transform, to heal, to love, to change everything.